I'm ready.
Can I do the intro?
I say that as if I'm gonna. Yeah, you press record, bitch.
I've already been recording.
Welcome
All right.
back to the podcast.
You're welcome for the burp.
Anyways.
That'll sync your audio.
I hate you so much. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm Emma.
I'm Spook.
I'm Jess.
And we have all injured ourselves so many times. My leg cramped up last night, so I was having a rough time walking today. It's just been so good. New Year's been great.
I was stretching in bed, and my leg started cramping up. I'm like, no, please, not like this.
The worst part is I was literally asleep when it happened, and this has been happening to me a lot recently. So like it woke, like I was woken up to my leg cramping up. It hurt so bad, and as soon as it was done, I was like, I'm going back to sleep. We'll deal with this in the morning. And then I woke up and I couldn't walk.
That always happens to me, and it happened to me like last week. Mm-hmm. And I woke up, my leg was cramping, then I went back to sleep, and probably like 10 minutes later, I woke up to my other leg cramping.
I have a story that relates to Emma's leg cramping up. That's my own story.
Yeah.
I was actually there in your room laughing at you, recording it. You're welcome.
No. Thank you.
I think this was like a year or so ago. Probably more than a year, because it was before I reorganized my room. I woke up, like, I was fully asleep. I woke up, my leg is in pain, and I'm halfway out of the bed. I'm like, my leg is not on the bed. My leg is almost on the ground. That's the leg that is cramping up.
So, you're laying there suffering.
You can't really get up. You can't really move your leg when you're cramping up, because it really hurts.
Nope.
So I'm stuck in that position. Mm-hmm. One leg dangling off the bed.
Yeah.
And I'm literally burying my head into the mattress, trying not to scream, because I'm in so much pain.
Mm-hmm. That was how I felt last night. That was exactly how I felt. It was literally, my leg started cramping. I woke up, it woke me up. I was sitting there holding it, trying so hard to hold back screams, just being like, oh, fuck. Like, it hurts so bad, and when it finally stopped, I was like, I'm gonna deal with this in the morning, but I'm going back to sleep. And I woke up, tried to stand up, and I literally had to limp for half the day. I walked around for a bit to stretch it out, and it's okay now, but it's definitely still sore, and I hate it. But, my mom says it's probably because I have low potassium, so I will be taking potassium supplements, because this has been happening a lot, recently.
So, my leg didn't stop doing that for like 30 minutes. I was stuck in that position for 30 minutes.
Mine only lasts for like a minute at most.
Yeah,
that one was like an hour.
Yeah,
cut off your leg at this point.
Yeah, my leg actually cramping up only lasts maybe like a minute or so, but then it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I'll wake up and then I can't walk on it for a while. Like it.
Yeah, I was up for like 3 days.
Yeah, the last time my leg cramped up, it was fine when I woke up, but this time, yeah, I sucked because I had to go out and do a lot of walking, because I had to go get groceries and I had to go pick up my laptop and stuff. But it's sore, but I can at least put my foot down flat now, so we're improving.
I'm very tempted to just let myself to make my leg cramp up so it just stops.
That's
my counterintuitive.
Yeah, I don't.
No. If I do it,
Jess,
then it won't bother me anymore.
You know what? I think I'm going to do. I was talking to my doctor, Dr. Spook, and they said I should just cut off my leg. So I'm gonna cut off both of them, and just get like.
Can I?
Dr. Spook is a very good doctor, by the way.
Dr. Spook is very helpful. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna cut both of them off because I have so many issues with both of them. I'm just gonna cut them both off, and I'm just.
If you cut both of your legs off, make yourself taller.
Exactly. Oh my god! I would make
how tall?
I would make myself 6 foot so fast. Oh my god! I would totally
make myself 8 feet tall and nothing less.
8'6". Here I come.
I hit my head off of everything.
But what I think is so funny is everyone else will be like, "Oh yeah, I'd totally make there's so many girls that would be like, "Yeah, I'd make myself shorter." I'm like, "No, I want to be 6 foot. I want to tower over everyone."
Tall as possible.
Like 5'10".
Oh, 6 foot.
I want to stare down at everybody and say, "Fuck you."
I wish I was taller.
If I ever get my leg amputated, I've told this to many people, and I've told it to my sister as well, but if I ever get my leg amputated, I'm going to request that I keep my leg so I can stuff it and make a leg lamp out of it.
What when you
with
told me that,
fishnets on it and everything.
When you told me that, I remember I went to look it up to see if you actually could, and you actually can keep your leg if
you can.
You ask.
You can request to keep your amputated limbs.
Because there are literally people, like, it was so weird because just after we had that conversation, I got a TikTok of somebody who had literally got to keep their leg from an amputation and they keep it in their freezer. And I was just like, yeah, that's something you can, like, that's, like, the fact that that's just something, I don't know why they can't keep it in their freezer, but, like, the fact that that's just something you can just do, like...
It's probably good to have, though. I don't know, like, because you could probably get, like, I don't know what, like, you could get stuff that could potentially save your life from it because it's your own body. I don't know if you can still do that after
I was
it's
gonna
been cut off.
say, but it's been cut off, so it's probably dead. Like, it's not attached to your
Yeah,
body
but, like,
anymore.
if it's frozen...
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it all works. All I'm gonna say is I'm an extremely clumsy person, and as my mom has always said, it's very much something I get from her because her favorite thing to say is I come from a long line of clumsy women. And what I think is actually funny is that apparently being really clumsy is technically an ADHD thing, because when you have ADHD, you don't notice things around you. Like, you're not as aware of your surroundings, so you could trip over things more, you trip over yourself, you bump into things.
You're not aware of your surroundings runs into... If I go and play Frogger, do I win because I do not pay attention to the cars?
If they don't hit you, sure, yeah.
Frogger?
It's that older game, the one where it's like the frog that has to keep crossing the street, and you have to avoid cars and stuff. It's an older, like, arcade game. Anyways, but yeah, like, I found out a while ago it's an ADHD thing, and I find it funny that my mom is the one that says it comes from her because she also has ADHD, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, it was just like just a thing throughout her family, because
I'm not really accident prone.
Like,
I don't get injured a lot. I get, like, sick a lot, but I don't really get injured a lot. Like, I've never broken a bone.
I've never broken a bone either.
I've never broken a bone. I've had a cast because they weren't sure if I'd broken a bone, but it wasn't broken.
Haven't even had that.
Yeah, here, let me explain. Let me tell you the story. So when I think it was the 6th grade? Yeah, 6th grade, I had finally just learned how to ride a bike because I had moved a lot as a kid, so I never really had a bike or had the time to learn because it was basically like any time I try to learn, it'd be like, well, we have to move again. So I'd finally gotten a proper bike and I learned how to ride it. And 3 days after I learned how to ride my bike, my dad's just outside working on some stuff and I was just basically riding it up and down the road. And I got up to, like, near that stop sign. And I was usually, when I get up there, I'd kind of, like, turn and go back. But as I'm getting up there, this car comes zooming through, right? And they don't stop at the stop sign. They just start going. And, like, I swerved to get out of their way. And doing that...
You were hit by a car?
No, they didn't hit me. But because I swerved to move out of their way, my bike hit the curb. And so my bike then flips. I go flying. I basically land on the side of the curb. My arm hits the curb. I then land on my arm. And then my bike hits at my ankles, which fucking hurt. But, like, then I literally couldn't move my arm out of that position. Like, I literally had to basically hold it, like, across my stomach. Like, as if my arm was already in a cast. I could not move it from that position because it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And so I basically get myself up because I'm able to walk. I get myself up, I pick up my bike, and I, like, wheel it back to my house. It's not too far. And I walk straight past my dad. I just kind of drop the bike on the grass, and I walk inside. And I sit down, and I'm like, I need to get someone's attention, but I'm in so much pain. If I say anything, I'm going to start crying. So my sister then comes inside and says something about my dad needing me or something, and I basically look at her, I'm like, tell him to come inside now. And she's just like, what? I was like, tell him it is an emergency, come inside now. So she runs out to get him, and he comes in, he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I think I broke my arm. I don't know. I flipped my...
Broken! Father!
Because the thing about me is when I get hurt, I don't really cry. I just kind of stand there like... oh, what the fuck do I do? And I get
your
quiet.
Body's in shock and you don't know
literally.
What to do.
So I just didn't cry. So he didn't notice me come back. So he comes in and he's just like, okay, we'll wait a little bit because I'm like, we're not entirely sure. We'll see how you're doing in a little bit. And then if it's still hurting, we'll take you to the ER. So we have dinner. I'm still sitting there. Cannot move my arm. It's still in a ton of pain. So my mom takes me to the ER. We wait there for hours. They try to do an x-ray, but my arm is so swollen they literally could not see the bone through the x-ray. Because my arm was so badly swollen. So they're like, we're just going to put a cast on it in case it is broken, but we don't know because we cannot tell. So they put a cast on my arm, and I had to then basically have this cast for a couple of weeks on my arm, and then I go back, and then they cut it off to do another x-ray now that my arm's not swollen.
You just said they cut your arm off.
Yep, they took off my whole arm. My arm's gone. No, they cut off the cast. And then they do another x-ray.
Wait, did you save your arm?
Yes, they cut it off.
Is it in your freezer?
No, they cut it off and then restitched it back on, so now I have this really cool, scar that's just across my arm, makes me look like Frankenstein.
Star?
Yeah.
Frankenstein. What the heck am I saying?
Yeah,
Frankenstein
cool
star.
Frankenstein
Got
star.
it.
Yep.
First try.
But yeah, they cut off the cast, they do the x-ray, and they look and they're like, it doesn't look like it's broken or fractured or anything, but we're gonna have you wear like a sling for a little bit. And of course, this is like right before I'm supposed to go on my very first overnight trip for school, and it was just like a camping thing. This was like a couple days before, so I had to wear the sling for it. So like there was some things I wasn't really able to do, but by that point my arm was already doing pretty well. Like I could go sometimes without the sling, but I usually kept it just in case. But I still went on the trip because I was like, nah, we've already paid for this. I want to go on my cool first overnight trip. But it wasn't broken, but it swelled up so badly they literally could not tell if I had broken it or not. So like, we're just gonna put a cast on just in case. But yeah, so that's the story of why I had to get a cast. So yeah, I wasn't broken. I still don't know how I didn't actually break anything because of how bad it was, because I literally flipped off of my bike. This is why I'm supposed to say, this is why when you ride a bike, always wear your helmet. If I had not been wearing my helmet, I probably would have cracked my skull open.
Joke's on you. I never wear a helmet.
This is why you have
It's on you, I don't ride my bike.
This is why you have a brain injury, Jess.
Impossible. Maybe.
Okay, this isn't an injury, but you talking about your bike reminded me about this. When I was, I don't know, 5 or 6, I went on, my mom and my neighbor used to go on walks around the neighborhood all the time, and I used to go with them, usually on my scooter. Or, like, sometimes I'd bring my bike, but this time I was on my scooter, and we were, like, a couple blocks away from my house, and, like, I'm riding on my scooter and all that stuff, and I put my chin too close to the handlebar, and I went over this bump, and my chin smacked onto the handlebar, and my tooth came out.
Oh.
And so I was bleeding from my mouth because I had just lost a tooth. My mom went over to, like, some random person's house and was like, hey, I need a napkin for my child. Like, her tooth just fell out. And then my neighbor and I were trying to find my tooth on the ground because I was really upset because I was like, the tooth fairy isn't gonna come. I want my tooth. We did find the tooth, though. And my chin was fine. But yeah, that's how I lost one of my teeth. I think it was one of the bottom teeth.
Was it? I'm assuming it was a baby tooth. So at least like
no, it was a full adult tooth. No, it was a baby tooth.
So I mean, at least though it coming out, at least it has a replacement tooth. You don't need to get like a fake one.
It was wiggly.
Oh, that was perfect. Wiggly. It just helped you get it out. It helped you get a little extra cash.
It's a fake gold tooth.
I do. It's like my mom. My mom has a crown. Like it's like she has a crown, but there's no tooth underneath. Like there is a tooth, but it's not really a tooth. It's just they put a crown on top of it to make it look like she has a tooth.
So it's kind of like a veneer. I think that's what they're called.
I've never heard that word before in my life.
I think I'm pretty sure it's a veneer. It's basically when they they file down all your real teeth and they put like these like porcelain type ones over top to basically make it look like perfect teeth. That. Usually when I hear about it, it's more of a cosmetic thing, but I do know that sometimes they'll use it as like a
my mom. Her tooth was like all rotten. Yeah, it was like a rotten tooth or something because she didn't have the best dental care. Mm-hmm. That's just what happens when you grow up in the army.
I mean, honestly though, like, when it comes to like teeth, your like dental hygiene and stuff, I always got very lucky with that because I didn't get any cavities until I think I was 15, and I still haven't had any since then.
Haven't had a single cavity in my life.
My
mom scared me too much with that.
The only thing that I didn't have good luck with was getting my wisdom teeth out. because they had to take all 4 of them out.
Yeah, I did go for it as well.
Yeah, because my top ones were coming in fine, but my 2 bottom ones were literally growing in sideways. So they're like, yeah, we have to take those
my
out.
wisdom teeth were fine. I had all of them were perfect. They were all in line, all the stuff. My mouth is just too small.
How many wisdom teeth did you guys have?
4.
I had 3, bitch.
Oh no! What a loser!
You weirdo. But
I think my brother has the same, but just opposite side. And my mom did too. It's genetic, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Maybe. I mean, my sister, she got x-ray done for her wisdom teeth, and her teeth literally are the exact same as mine were. It's like the 2 bottom ones are sideways, and then the top ones are fine, so she has to get all 4 of them out as well. But, yeah, when they showed me the x-ray of it and everything, I looked at it, and then I looked at my mom, and I went, hey, Mom, my teeth are bisexual. 2 of them are straight, 2 of them aren't. And I said to her, this was before I came out to my mom too, but like, oh god, it was so funny to me at the time. I just looked at them and went, 2 of my teeth are gay.
Anyways, I think Jess, you had something you wanted to say. You were saying
you guys have very different stories when it comes to like, bike riding and shit like that. I was like a risk taker and I never got hurt.
I just learned how to ride it. I was so careful and I still got hurt.
Like, I forgot how to ride my bike.
We made this whole like dirt track before like the houses were made around us.
Mm-hmm.
So like we were doing that every day. I'm not taking risks. I got stuck with my leg underneath the bike, twisted all around and everything. No broken bones! You guys are here losing teeth, getting a cast and everything. I'm like, yes, let me go down this dangerous hill at full speed. No injuries. Nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
You get hit by a bus and you stand up like, did someone hit me?
I get up, just kind of stretch a little bit, like, what a weird coincidence. I fell over.
If I ever got hit by a car or something like that, I would be so embarrassed. Like, I would stand up and be like, don't look at me, guys. Like, I'll take myself to the hospital. Don't even look at me.
Don't call the ambulance. I'll do it myself.
I'm just picturing, though, like, Jess riding her bike, the bus hits her, she stands up, no problem, her bike is fine, but the front of the bus is just, like, crumpled in.
Yeah!
She's like,
Jess,
wow,
what happened?
Oh, no. That doesn't look good. Anyways. But yeah, I think if I ever got hit by a car, a little part of me I think would probably be embarrassed, but the other part of me would be like, oh, I'm gonna get so much money out of this if I don't die.
You're like, yeah, money, me. Like, oh, I'm gonna ruin this vehicle with my bare hands.
To tear it in half.
Yeah! I didn't get up from, like, getting hit by this vehicle. I'm like, yeah! That's amazing! Just what happened?
Have you guys ever had stitches before?
No.
Only for when I got my wisdom teeth out.
Yeah, I only had them.
Josh has! Several times.
I almost choked on my, stitches from my wisdom teeth.
Yeah.
I was laying down and it came out, but it was still, like, part of it was still stuck to my gums. It was just, like, half in my throat. I'm like, oh, God!
You're like, this is how I died.
Out of bed so quickly before I rushed to the bathroom. I was like, I'm choking on a freaking stitch.
Yeah, when my first stitch fell out, I didn't realize what it was, or like I forgot. So because they explain to you that when you get the stitches, after a while they will dissolve, and you can literally just swallow them. They like because they
usually
don't
dissolve.
Notice it. Yeah, you won't even notice it. But the first one that fell out, I noticed because it didn't fully dissolve, but it was just sitting in my mouth, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I pulled it out and saw it, and I forgot that they had told me that it's fine because it's supposed to come out, and I freaked out. I was like, oh god, one of my stitches fell out, and I sat there, I was looking at it, I'm like, oh god, what do I do? And I was like, no, and I was just like, it's fine. And I finally realized, I was like, it's fine. It's supposed to fall out. It's okay. We're fine. I was very, very worried about it, but as soon as I realized it was fine.
I don't even remember when the stitches came out for my wisdom teeth. I think because I had 2 or 3 days to recover, and then I was back in school eating normal food.
was out for like a week.
I was gonna say
I had my wisdom teeth done at like Friday, and then I had the weekend, and then I was back to school on Monday.
My mom literally, like, specifically tried to pick a weekend, or like a week when I was already going to be off. So originally, I was supposed to do it during the November break that we had during high school, which I know not every school has it, but it's literally just like reading week. But it's just like a week that we get off because our school started a week early. But then we had to move it because we had some issues with our insurance and money was tight at the time, so we moved it. So we ended up doing it during the second week of winter break, so after Christmas. So it was I think it was January 2nd was when I had finally got it done. So then I ended up just having the rest of winter break to just rest, and we had just gotten a PS4 at the time too, and I got all the games I'd been wanting to play, so I was literally just spent that entire time just playing Uncharted and The Last of Us and all the PlayStation games I'd always wanted to play. It was a good time.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You guys having a great time. Fuck you. My parents like, eat the food!
If it makes it feel any better, Jess, like, I didn't have any infections or, like, my cheeks weren't swollen or anything, but
that makes me feel a lot better.
My issues, okay? But you know how, like, after, like, you had to go back to the dentist after a week to get, like, checked up, and then they gave you that syringe and you had to, like, clean out the holes in your gums?
I hated the syringe.
I actually really liked it, but anyway, that's beside the point. So for the entire week before I had gone back, like, I had food and stuff all fill up in one of the holes, and it hurt so much. Like, I went to the dentist, and she cleaned out the all the holes, and I instantly felt better. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. My jaw isn't numb anymore? What is this?
Jess, just if you're wondering, the syringe is basically, it was that plastic, it's that plastic syringe, that, like, you have to fill it up with warm water, and you basically have to stick it in your mouth, and you use it to clean food out of the holes where your wisdom teeth were until they heal, so that it stops it from getting infected or rotting or something like that. I hated it. Like, I
didn't do that. I just
did it, clean it out. Oh, fantastic!
No, I hated it.
We just did swishes of salt water. I
did swishes of salt water, but I hated it too. Like, I did it as just like an extra precaution.
I love doing swishes of salt water as well. I love the taste of the salt water.
I hate the taste.
Love it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's clearly something wrong with you.
I love the taste of salt water. Like, when I feel like the sores and stuff in my mouth, I'm like, oh yeah, salt water.
Under the sea.
Yes,
falling is better.
We're gonna throw Spook in the ocean and leave him there. Apparently that's where they want to live.
Slurp up the entire ocean.
We're gonna look over and the ocean's gonna be like half gone. We're gonna be able to see down the Marianas Trench.
Guys, don't worry. If global warming melts all the ice caps, Spook will just drink up all the salt water.
It's okay. We don't have to have underground things.
Let's slurp it all up.
Spook just there with a straw, like, don't worry, guys, I got this.
My favorite taste in the world. I love salt.
I like salt, but I don't like salt water. Like, my dad used to make me do it if I had, like, a sore throat.
I don't like.
He'd make me gurgle it to, like, help with it. I hated it. Ugh.
I don't like ocean salt water, but like putting some table salt in some water and like swishing around. I'm not gonna drink it, but like swishing around feels good.
I'm gonna start.
Different.
I'm gonna start calling you Aquamarine. Your fucking salt water. Anyways, so another injury that I've been dealing with literally since I was probably 13, I think. Yeah, because it was right before I started grade 8, so I would have been 13. Because it was right when I moved into the house I'm living in now.
Do I know about this injury?
Yes, you very much know about this injury because this has been an ongoing thing since I was 13. My knees are really fucked up.
Oh, yes. You messed them up again when you, like, after you had met me.
Yeah, I've messed them up a few times, but when I was 13, I cannot remember what the medical term is. I can never remember it because it's so long, but basically, it's this thing that usually happens to kids around 13, 14 or so, but basically your knees just really weaken, so there's like a lot of pain, and it's either because you've either worked them too hard or you haven't worked them hard enough, and because it was right around the time we were moving...
You haven't drank your milk.
No, it was right around the time...
drink more milk.
It was right around the time we had moved into the house we're in now. So, and of course, me being the oldest, I helped with a lot of the heavy lifting and a lot of the moving stuff back and forth between the houses. And it was so much. I think that was at first what caused it, what like kind of messed up my knee. Because basically what happened is I was carrying stuff in and I brought something down to the basement. And I went and took one step on the stair, like to go upstairs, and my knee just gave out and I literally could not stand back up. So I had to scream for somebody to help me back up the stairs because I couldn't walk up the stairs. Literally, I was sitting there at the bottom of the stairs just yelling for somebody to come help. My dad came and got me and he helped me back up the stairs. And I'm just like, my leg just like in so much pain. I couldn't walk on it anymore. So I got it checked out. And then over time it started getting better. And then when we started high school, I joined the swim team, and swimming is actually like really good for your joints, really good for your muscles, whatever. So it really, really helped strengthen up my knee. So like my knee got a lot better. I still sometimes had issues, but it helped a lot. And then I started university and I stopped doing swim team. I stopped exercising, and I had this heavy ass backpack. So I had so much equipment and stuff I had to have with me. Because, you know, life of a media production student. And there's this building called the SLC, which is like the Student Learning Center. And it's on the main floor. There's these giant like staircase kind of things for people to sit on. And I would sit on them. Sometimes I'd sit there and just do work on my laptop. I'd eat lunch or whatever. So I went to go climb up it in between one of my classes to go sit on it. Instead of taking the normal stairs next to it, I started trying to climb up on the actual things to not have to step over. Basically, I just didn't want to have to step. I didn't want to have to step over and around people. So I just tried climbing up it. I got up about 2 of them. Suddenly I hear this loud pop in my knee and I just collapse again. And I'm sitting there in so much pain. Nobody's helping me. And I'm literally sitting there holding my knee like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't stand. So I call my mom.
I would have been so embarrassed.
I call my mom, who's at work, and I call her specifically because her work at the time was literally like 5 minutes away from where I was, but she couldn't come to help me because she was in the middle of a meeting at work. Like, she literally couldn't come help. So she's like, if you really need to go home, call your dad, see if he can drive out to come and pick you up. And I was like, so eventually I kind of started limping and I was able to walk, and me being the stupid ass I was, still went to my last class. And then limped myself to the subway, then limped myself from the subway to the train, got off the train, drove myself the rest of the way home, walked inside, sat down on the couch, looked at my dad and went, yeah, I did something to my knee. I think I'm going to need to go to the hospital. And he's like, why didn't you call me? I was like, I don't know. I kind of just figured I could probably get, I was like, I didn't want to leave the car at the train station. I figured I could probably get myself home. He's like, if you hurt yourself, we can get the car later. Like, I was like, I know, but
I could walk. I was fine. What the fuck?
Yeah, so then we finally go. And they do an x-ray. There's nothing wrong with my actual knee, but then they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to go and get like a CT scan on your knee because it's probably an issue with the muscle. So after fucking forever of trying to get it done, I finally get it done. And they're like, yeah, you tore your ACL. Like, it wasn't a full tear, but you tore it. And I was like, yeah, I kind of figured that was what I did. And they're like, yeah, do you play a lot of...
on it?
What? Yeah.
And I walked on it?
Yeah, and I walked on it. And they're like, yeah, do you play a lot of sports and stuff? I was like, nope, I just had a very heavy backpack and tried to climb something a little too big. And they're like, yeah, that'd probably do it too. Because, like, I did a lot of walking at school too, because, like, the buildings are kind of pretty separated.
That's just
so
what university is like.
Yeah, it's just what university is. So it's... I was like, yeah, I don't exercise necessarily in the gym, but I do walk a lot. But yeah, then I ended up messing up my knee. So then after a while, I had a knee brace. I just like, they gave me some like sort of exercises and stretches I can do with my knee that you would normally do in physical therapy. But of course, by the time I finally got that, it was during the pandemic and everything. And I just was like, I could do this myself. But my knee is okay now. Like, sometimes if I'm on it for too long, it will start to get sore, but, like, not to the point where I can't walk. And if I just use my knee brace, I'm fine. But, like, I really badly messed it up. And then, so this was also, too, the day before Halloween, so I was very upset about that I couldn't go do any Halloween stuff. I was very upset about that. And then in January, one of our friends, Toby, she came to visit me on campus. And by this point, my knee was pretty much okay. Like, I was able to walk again. I was fine. And we had gotten dinner, and then we went to go get on the subway to go back to the train station together. And we went down there, and there was a huge wet spot in the subway station I didn't notice. And I stepped on it, and because all the floor is tile, I just went straight down, like my bad knee basically crumpled under me, and my other leg just went straight out. It was the weirdest position I was in, but it hurt so bad, and it messed up my knee again.
Hey, Em, are you okay down there? I don't know.
I was literally sitting there. And then, of course, I caused a fucking scene because I'm literally sitting there like I can't get back up. And so this very nice lady comes and she's like, hey, do you need help getting back up? Are you okay? Can you stand? So she helps me get back up. And I was fine. I got up. After a couple minutes, it was okay. And I was able to walk myself back to the subway and I got home and whatever. And it was fine. But it was just like, how do I keep doing this to the same knee over and over again? Like, it's always my right knee. I'm always just fucking it up. I don't...
Time to cut it off. You got another leg lamp on the way.
Literally. And not to mention, my left knee, ever since I started working at the job I'm at now, because of how much moving and walking and standing I have to do, has started, because I tend to put more weight on that one, because my right one's I'm always injuring it. Now this one is starting to hurt a lot more. And then my ankles are fucked up because I've sprained both of them at different times.
Like, angel.
This is what I'm saying. Like, when I say I need to just cut off both my legs, I need to cut off both my legs. I just need new ones. Just cut them off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just get new knees.
Yeah. I'm just literally, what I'm thinking is
like my grandma.
I'll cut off my leg just above my knee, because, like, above my knee and up is perfectly fine. It's a knee down.
Don't cut off your leg. Just get a new knee. I'll give you my knee.
No, but I need new ankles too.
And I can live out my dreams of having a leg.
But I also need new ankles because, as I said, I sprained both of them and fucked both of those up too. So,
why is it a dream to have a leg lamp? I need to know this.
Listen, one day I'm like, damn, I need a leg lamp now.
It's because of the Christmas Story.
And it just stayed forever.
It's because of the Christmas Story, the leg lamp.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it's from.
Yeah. But
I don't know, I was just thinking about it one day and I was like, yeah, that would be cool to have.
Just like,
I think about taxidermy a lot. It's fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
Somebody just looks at it and they're like, that's a very realistic lamp. Yeah, that's my old leg. That's your what?
No, pardon me.
So, Emma, you were saying in your story that, like, you just ignored your knee pretty much and, like, walked home. That got me thinking, like, I have been trying my best to, like, take care of my body when I get an injury. Mm-hmm. Because when I, like, 2 weeks ago now, I did this intense workout and I was sore for days afterwards. And then I had the leg cramp.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just as I was starting to get better. But I was like, you know what? I'm in pain right now, so I'm just gonna, like, take it easy. I'm not gonna do too much and all this stuff. And I put, like, the Rub 8535 stuff all over my body. I think I bathed in it. And, like, I was just very aware of, like, the fact that I was in pain. So I just took it easy. And then, like, if I get a headache as well, before I used to just ignore and be like, oh, I can just live with a headache. Now I'm like, no, I'm actually gonna go take Advil.
Yeah.
Like, I may as well. We have all these things to help your body. You may as well, like,
disgusting.
Take them.
Weak.
No, it's not weak. I'm making sure my body is okay. Because I read this story, and the person had, like, I don't even remember what it was, but, like, they had, like, a sore muscle or something like that, and they just ignored it, and they kept ignoring it. It got to the point where, like, they had to go to the hospital and all that stuff, and then because of the pandemic, their, like, recovery was, was pushed back and all that stuff. But what it was is, like, their muscle was, like, really inflamed and all that stuff, and they let it sit for so long that, like, the damage was irreparable. And had they've taken, like, an anti-inflammatory thing, like, the day of, it probably would have been fine. Which is why now I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take Advil for, like, my headache and all that stuff, or, like, I'm gonna put, like, muscle relaxant on my sore muscles.
Taking
care of my body.
As a person who is a child of a mother who was a pharmacist assistant, and a grandmother who was the pharmacist, I have grown up my entire life being like, yeah, if there's something wrong, there's probably medication that can help, and my mom pretty much always knows what I need to take, which is why when I said I keep having these leg cramps, and my mom said try taking a potassium supplement, I was like, got it, great, gonna go take one, because usually she's right. And then, like, also too, like, I, in recent years, have been getting headaches a lot, and I've talked about this before, that I also tend to get migraines.
You have headaches? You know why, Emma? Because you don't wear your glasses. The silence.
Emma, shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up right now. You shut the fuck up.
No, you don't wear your stupid glasses right now. That's why you have a headache.
I don't know what you're talking about. My glasses are on right now.
Did you just put them on?
I just
heard the movement of them.
I don't know what you're talking about. My glasses have been on this whole time. I always wear them. Okay, it's not that I don't want to wear them, because I do actually like how my glasses look, and I like my glasses. It's literally, I just forget that I have them. Because, like, my eyesight's not... The thing is,
your head hurts.
No, but the thing is, my eyesight's not that bad, though. That's the thing. It's like, I can still see without them. But, like, I just forget to put them on, even though they literally sit next to me here at my computer, because they also have the blue light coating on them for, like... Because when I got them, it was right... when everyone started going to like Zoom classes, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be on my computer a lot, might as well get it.
I've had blue light filter for like a decade now.
But also too, I don't think it's just the glasses. It also I tend to get migraines. I've said this before, and this is not because I don't love you guys. I love you guys a lot. It's actually because I love you guys a lot. I tend to get migraines after hanging out with you guys because I get so excited and just so riled up the whole time. When I'm finally done, my head hurts so bad. Because I was just so, like, riled up the whole time.
You know what? Fuck it, I'm glad you get...
So it's like, after, like, doing, like, D&D with you guys, I always get migraines. I immediately go home and, like, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm going to bed because that's the only thing that's gonna get rid of this, but...
I'm taking drugs and then I'm going to bed.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's just, like, I tend to get migraines a lot, but my mom is always just like, yeah, here, just take this, you'll be fine. Not to mention, I also metabolize medication really easily, so I always have to take more than what you're technically supposed to. Like, if I take
Listen, man, I take four extra strength Advils.
Yeah, I usually take 3 to 4 extra strength ibuprofen if I need it.
On the back, it's like, don't take more than 8, and I'm like, oh, this is my 12th pill. Here we go.
Don't take more than 8. All right, so I'm gonna take 8 right now, and then when the hours are up, I'll take another 8.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but, like, I've been like that my entire life, though. Like, I metabolize medication super easily, so I always have to take more than what I'm supposed to, or else it's just not going to do anything.
I've only had one migraine in my entire life, and it was only for 2 days. It was the worst 2 days of my life.
I hate migraines.
I slept for most of it, and then we went out. It was right around Halloween, so I went out to get pumpkins. I remember sitting in the back of the car with my dad's sunglasses on, just, like, I looked baked. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain right now, just take me home.
Yeah.
I had a pretty bad migraine, actually.
But at least I don't have any, at least I haven't had any broken bones, though. Got that going for me.
What about your migraines, Jess?
I had a bad one recently. Mm-hmm. I was on do not do anything on PC or anything
I remember this
at all because I was literally crying in pain. My eyes were in pain, my head were in pain. We're bringing back the puke.
It's back.
It hasn't been mentioned in a few episodes, so I'm gonna bring it back real quick.
It's not a Burnout Kids podcast episode without mention of puke.
Yeah. I took an Advil without eating, so I threw up the Advil.
Oh.
Gross.
Yep.
Ugh.
Because I'm an absolute idiot, and I was just like, I just need to get this pain away, so I'm gonna take an Advil. And then I couldn't get back to sleep because I was in so much pain. So we're struggling with that, and I'm just like in bed. No, I wasn't in bed. I was downstairs because I went to my dad. I'm like, Dad, this is fucking horrible. But please help me.
Yeah, I can't take Advil without taking it with food.
Question.
I love questions.
When you guys have to swallow pills and stuff, do you struggle to do that? Because I know a lot of people that really struggle to do it.
I just said I cannot take it unless I have food. I cannot swallow pills to save my life.
Oh, I thought you meant like you need to eat something before you take meds, not that you need to have it with the meds.
No, I need to eat food, and then just before I'm about to swallow, I have to throw the pill in, and then sometimes I have to sit there and be like, okay, the pill is not in my mouth. It's not there. Just swallow it like normal. It's just food. And then I'll swallow and then the pill will just stay there in my mouth. I'm like, you little...
What about you, Jess?
You thought...
What about you,
No,
Jess?
I struggle a lot with...
I'm able to take pills as of 2-3 years ago.
When I was a kid, I could not swallow pills at all. I would always chew them and just suffer, or I would have my mom crush them up and put it into something, and then I take it like that, basically like a dog. I would just have her crush it up and put it into some kind of food. But now,
peanut butter.
But now, I think as of probably when I was about 15 or 16, I learned how to properly swallow pills, because that was around the time I started getting headaches, so I wanted to start being able to take some ibuprofen for it. Plus also then my knee as well. So I learned how to do that, and now I'm literally at the point where I can dry swallow pills, no problem. I still drink water with them anyways. No, I don't. I don't unless I, like, really have to, but I always try to drink something with them. But I can. Like, no issues.
No, I could never. So I have to take, like, my medication. It's these little tiny pills. Like, I can't describe how small they are. But they're absolutely tiny. And I struggle to take those sometimes. Those are what I learned how to swallow pills on, because now I can take those with just water plain. And, like, they're easy. But yeah, I had to buy Advil the other day. And they didn't have, like... I need extra strength, but they didn't have any of the kind that I like. So I had to get these, like... They're sort of like gel, almost. And I'm like, I can't swallow these to save my life, but I'm gonna take them. Because I'm in pain.
So will I suffer?
I had to take some this morning with breakfast, and it was a struggle. I almost choked on one of them the other day.
Oh my god!
Gotta do what you gotta
I swallowed
do.
it, and it got stuck in my throat. I was like, oh no.
Oh
What do I do?
I'm gonna die!
This was supposed to help, not kill me. But, I just want to say, like, I just was thinking about this. Going back to the whole thing with my knee, though, with how long it took me to get the CT scan done, the reason it took so long was because I had to call my doctor, and I had to get my doctor to then basically look at my knee and then prescribe a CT scan. Basically, like, I needed her permission to be able to get one.
Referral.
Yeah, referral, thank you. So she had to be the one to do it. And it took so long for me to do it, and I genuinely think it is because of my ADHD, because one thing I've learned about myself is that if something's not an immediate issue for me anymore, or, like, if it's not directly in front of me, I just don't think about it anymore. And once my knee started getting to a point where I could just start walking again, I just kind of forgot. But then, like I said, in January, I messed up my knee again, and at that point, I was like, okay, yeah, it's clear that it's not gonna get better. I need to actually do something. And not to mention, I used to be terrified of making phone calls. Now I can do it, no problem. I do it for myself all the time, but...
Yeah, I can't either.
Of course, because my mom, being my mom, was like, I'm not making this phone call for you. Like, you're an adult, you can do it. And I was like, I know, but I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. But now that I found now, though, that I'm on these meds for my ADHD, though, I'm able to do things for myself so much easier. Like, it's not a struggle anymore. But I think that was the reason it took so long just to get the scan done for my knee, is that, like, I literally just was like, my brain was like, it's not an immediate issue. Don't worry about it.
We'll be fine.
You're not at risk of dying.
No, you'll be fine. They don't need to cut off your leg just yet. They don't need to cut off your leg just yet. You're fine.
I'm fine. What?
But yeah.
On the topic of CT scans, this is completely different, kind of. But I had to have an ultrasound done a few years ago when I was still in college.
You were pregnant?
Yeah.
How come you didn't tell us?
Mother.
Do I get to be the godmother, please?
No. No.
How am
Sorry.
I supposed to
Throw your child off of a roof. Continue.
Can I be the aunt that spoils the kid?
Okay.
Great.
But I had to get an ultrasound because I was up all night. I got maybe like an hour of sleep. I went to college. I had a horrible day at college. That's for a different story. But basically my liver was in horrible pain. I was suffering.
As one does.
You know, yeah. But I went to my classes. I still went to my classes on an hour of sleep.
That's
you do.
You know, I had to go to the walk-in because I'm, like, in pain. The only thing I got from my ultrasound is, oh yeah, by the way, you have an irritated liver. Huh?
Thanks. What do I do about that?
What do I do? I still don't know.
Irritated.
I still don't know what to do about that, so we're just gonna sleep on it. That's gonna just stay in the back pocket until it comes to bother me again. It has been bothering me again recently, by the way.
I just like that. It's just like, you have an irritated liver. It's just, why is it mad at me? What did I do?
Yeah, like, they didn't tell me shit. They're like, oh yeah, it's irritated. See you later.
Good luck with that.
But
like, I was in the middle of class, like, doing my thing, and I got a call. I'm like, I have to step out for a second. I have a call with a walking doctor. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, your liver's irritated. Have a great day, bye. What?
You're dying, click.
don't you
You're dying! What? Wait, no, come back! We're not done talking about this!
Don't you just, like, love, though, that, like, we're just these college, university students who are like, yeah, I'm in severe pain right now. Anyways, I'm gonna go to my last class just real quick. Gotta make sure I don't miss this class. Oh, don't you just love us?
Like, I could have totally, like, skipped the day because I had, like, only an hour of sleep. And I was in so much pain, my parents were like, go to school, have fun.
Well, I mean, with my knee, I could have very easily just skipped my last class and just gone home, but I was like,
no,
but the building's right there, and it's the last class of the day. I might as well just go.
No, I went,
that I can't walk?
I went, and then I left halfway through, because we have a break. And I'm like, listen, man, I got an hour's sleep. My my torso is killing me. I don't know what part of my torso is killing me, but something's killing me. I gotta go.
That's skedaddle.
They're like, why are you here? Why are you here? Are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay at all. Thank you for asking.
Well, since you asked.
Well, since you asked, I had a wonderful night's sleep of 1 hour. I literally remember that night so well. I was in the fetal position, in pain, literally sobbing to myself because I didn't want to wake up my parents.
So what I've gathered from this is none of us are okay. I seem to be the one who's doing the best.
Apparently. Like I've said before, I am prone to injuries, and as my mom always says, like, I come from a long line of clumsy women. Like, it's just basically just injured. I'm like, DNA, man.
if I get injured, I'm like, oh, I have to pamper myself now. I can't bring my glass downstairs, put in the dishwasher because I'm injured.
Then there's me who's just like my legs could be broken and stuff, and I'm like, I'll just drag myself up the stairs. I have stuff I still need to finish. I haven't done this. I need to do the laundry. I haven't moved my laundry to the dryer. I'll drag myself up the stairs. Like, literally, I'm like, if I'm not done what I'm doing, I'm doing it.
If I'm not dying, it's not enough pain to stop me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say though, I
get sick, I'm down. If I get sick, I'm down and out. I'm down for the count.
I usually have some sort of pain every single moment I'm awake. I'm usually in some sort of pain, so I have a very high pain tolerance.
You know what's kind of funny is, like, I wouldn't say I have a high pain tolerance. I just ignore it. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a severe amount of pain right now. Oh well. Like,
sucks for me, I guess.
But yeah, it's just like, I can, like, even very minimal amounts of pain, like, I very much feel it, and I'm like, oh, like, even just a paper cut, I'm like, oh, fuck, this hurts really bad. But, like, I'm just like...
The paper cuts are a different type of injury.
I mean, true. But, like, it's just, like, very minor little things like that. It's like, I can really feel this, but I'm just gonna ignore it because fuck it. And then it's just, like, my leg could be broken. I'm like, damn, this hurts really bad. I'm just gonna finish watching this video first. So, I wanted to go back to really quick about how I tend to metabolize medication really easily. So, I have this fun story my mom told me from when I was a kid, and I've probably told you guys this too. But when I was a toddler, I had started walking, like, no issues. I was walking, it was fine, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, I just completely stopped walking. Like, I just went back to crawling for some reason. I just would not stand. And this, of course, me being the firstborn child, my mom was totally freaked out by this, like, oh god, what's wrong with my kid? Like, she can't walk anymore. So she was really worried there was something wrong with my back or something. So she took me into the hospital, and they were doing, like, tests and stuff on me. And while I'm there, I'm like, I think maybe like 2 or 3 years old, they had to do a spinal tap on me, which I like I said, I was a child, so I don't remember it, but from what I know, spinal taps without having, like, some sort of, like, painkiller or something like that, they hurt really, really bad. Yeah. The thing is, because I metabolize medication really easily, so they gave me, they gave me some, like, meds to basically, that's something to just basically knock me out. And so they gave me the normal dosage they would give to a toddler, but it didn't work, right? So they're like, okay, we'll give her a little bit more, maybe just, like, for, like, a small kid, see if maybe that helps. That didn't work. So they waited a little bit longer, and then they gave me literally an adult-sized dosage, I'm pretty sure, and it still didn't knock me out. Like, it just, I was just awake the whole time, so they're like, okay,
it's built different.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, so basically, we're gonna have to do it while she's awake. And so as far as I know, they just gave me, like, painkillers or something to basically just numb it. Because, again, I was a toddler, and doing that to a toddler would be horrible. So, like, I don't remember it, obviously, because I was basically a baby. But, from what my mom basically learned from them, it was like, there's nothing wrong with her. She's just being lazy. Like, I was able to stand. I could walk no problem. I just didn't want to. I just wanted to crawl. And I freaked my mom out, and that's not even the first time I'd done that, because literally when I was first born, they had to keep me in, like, you know, like the incubator thing for a little bit, because I wasn't, like, a preemie or anything, but there was just, because of just some things, they just had to watch me for a little bit, because I think it was because I was a C-section baby. But they had this suction cup heart monitor thing on me, and my dad was standing outside, like, looking in the window, looking at me, and he looks up at the heart monitor, he's not looking at me, and suddenly the heart monitor just flatlines. And, of course, he freaks out. He's like, oh my god, my kid just died in front of me. I have to get a nurse. So he gets the nurse really fast. They go and look at me. I'm sitting there perfectly fine, but I had pulled the suction cup off of my chest and was sucking on it.
Yo, my kid's dead. She's fine.
Yeah, as a newborn baby, I was already pulling this shit on my parents.
When I was younger, my sister dislocated my elbow. Which I think was my right one, because it still pops sometimes. But she was pulling me up the side of the couch because we were playing, right? And she was pulling me up the side of the couch by my arm, and it just popped out. So we went to the hospital, and some random guy who was walking by was like, oh yeah, you've been waiting for a while? Here, let me fix it. And I just popped my elbow back in.
Whoa, why, what?
I don't remember it. I could not tell you what it's like to dislocate your limb, but yeah, my elbow was dislocated. Fun fact.
How is it I have literally gone through this whole episode, no issues listening to you guys talk about injuries, and the second you talk about popping something, your, like, elbow being dislocated or something being popped in, that's what gets me.
Because you don't like the sound of cracking bones. Yeah, it's something about the pop.
Yeah, I've said this before, I hate the sound of people cracking their bones, like cracking their fingers and stuff because of the pops. I don't know what it is about it, but when people do it in front of me, I've gotten better about it. I tend to be able to ignore it most of the time now. But sometimes someone will do it and I'll hear it and my whole body cringes. And for some reason, you being like, yeah, I dislocated my elbow and they popped it back in. It was like, ugh, ew.
Don't do shivers.
Literally, it was like, ugh, gross. Anyways, continue.
I know, I think that's the biggest injury I've ever had in my life.
Jess, have you ever had anything dislocated?
No.
I've never had that.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't remember it, though, so...
Well...
Generally, probably, but probably never got it fixed, so I'm just dying.
You just have a single toe that's been popped out, and it's been flopping along as you walk, and you're like, yeah, this is normal.
It's normal! What do you mean that's normal? That is not normal, Jess.
Yeah, my toe's supposed to flop like that, right? I'm not supposed to be able to move it.
Yeah!
That'd be crazy. Yeah, that's... I also am the type of person, too, that I tend to just get all these random bruises, and I never know where they come from. And, I genuinely think it's just because I'm constantly bumping into things, and then I immediately forget that I bumped into things. Because, again, you know, ADHD. But...
That's just what it's like to be a girl.
Yeah, but I have this one bruise on the inside of my left arm right now. It's like a bruise with a bit of a scratch. I do know where it came from, though, and it was because I had to give my smaller dog a bath, and when I picked her up, her back paw smacked my arm and then scratched down it. And I have this nice little bruise there from her doing that, but it's fine. I understand. She doesn't like being picked up, but I had to pick her up because that was the only way I was going to get her in the bath, so... But she needed the bath because... It's a little gross, but she had some some stuff, a little bit of stuff on her ass that she needs to get cleaned off. But, you know, it was pretty gross, but she's good now. She's clean now. She was happy that I gave her treats afterwards, though, so it was fine. But yeah, I'll just have these random bruises. Another very small injury is I tend to pick at the skin around my fingers a lot and on my thumb recently, because it's the winter time, and during the winter my skin gets really dry and sometimes it'll start to like crack or like peel or something. And when that happens, I then end up picking at it, because one of my fidgety things that I do is picking at the skin around my fingers, and I've literally put a band-aid around my thumb to stop myself from doing it now, because there was a part of my thumb that had literally like peeled a little bit. And I started just pulling it off. Yeah, like to the point where I actually made my thumb bleed a little bit. So I was like, I'm going to put a band-aid on because that's the only thing that's going to stop me from touching it.
I like picking at scabs. I know you're not supposed to, but like,
yeah.
I don't know, just looking at a scab and you're like, I just want to pick at it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's another issue I have. It's like again, it's just another one of those... I'm gonna keep saying it. It's all fucking ADHD. All of it. It's like, it makes me fidgety, and one of my biggest fidget things is 1, picking at the skin on my fingers, and 2, biting at my lips. And do
you bite your fingernails at all?
I used to when I was a kid. I don't anymore.
That drives me up the wall.
I do.
I do not bite my nails anymore. However, if a nail breaks off, if it gets jagged, I sit there picking at it until I've cut it so that it's no longer jagged. So when a nail breaks off at work or something, it is so annoying because then I just sit there like picking at it. Mm-hmm. It's so annoying.
Listen, man, I have no self-control.
One of our coworkers, though, she had this like mini travel size nail kit with her one day when I had broken one off because I had picked up this huge box. And honestly, I was so happy she had it because it stopped me from sitting there picking at it for like half an hour.
The worst when you have like a hangnail at work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a nail clipper on you. Worse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't think of any like other cool injuries I've had. Or funny injuries.
Ah, yes, injuries. They're so cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say dislocated my elbow is pretty cool.
I have a scar on my forehead. I technically have 2 scars on my forehead. I'm cooler than Harry Potter. I got 2 scars.
I get wrecked.
What a nerd!
One of them was...
Only one?
Yeah.
The girl who lived twice.
You're fucking good. So the first one was from when I was a baby. Apparently it was from my first dog accidentally scratching my head when I was a baby, because even as an infant I still liked playing with dogs. Obviously she didn't mean to do it or anything. It just, it happened, but it left a little scar on my forehead. And then another one was when I was 5 or 6. I was goofing around in my room with my dad, and my old bed had this wooden frame with like these big posts, and I was goofing around and I turned around and was like swinging my head and literally smacked my forehead right into the post of the bed. And it hurt, but I was okay. And then my dad looks at me and goes, "Emma, you're bleeding." And I was like, "What? No, I'm not." And I literally thought he was messing with me because it hurt a bit, but I didn't think it was that bad. And he's like, "No, you're bleeding. We need to go to the bathroom. We're going to clean you up." So I go to the bathroom and look in the mirror, and there's just blood dripping down my forehead. And I was like, oh, he wasn't joking.
Bleeding? Wait a minute, what the fuck?
So now I just have this nice scar right in the middle. It's not huge, but it's this little scar right in the middle of my forehead. There's just this nice little dent from me smacking my own head into a bedpost. Yeah. I really, like I said, really take care of myself. I've really just doing great.
Definitely.
Doing great. Anyways, anyone have any other stories that they can think of?
No.
Not off the top of my head.
All right, well.
Oh, I know one!
Okay.
I remember one! This is from when I was a wee little child in Florida. No, North Carolina. Because I think we were in, I think it was in North Carolina. I don't remember. I was a little child.
I was in the States. Let's go.
I was in the States. I was helping my grandma was like, "Oh, you want to help me out? Go grab this." Or I think he was like just saying he had to grab something, and I'm like, I can grab it! Me being a little child, I think I was like maybe 3. Or 4, I don't know. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember this story quite well. But I dropped a drill on my toe.
Oh.
and I had to go to the hospital.
Did you break it? No, you said you didn't have any broken bones. How'd you not break your toe?
I did not break my toe.
Holy shit, we are resilient for the amount of injuries we've had. We are resilient.
I've never broken my toe.
See, that's the thing with humans. Like, we can be hit by a car and like stand up and be fine, but then like, you can hit like something super small. Like, I've seen people like flick a glass and they've like shattered the bone in their finger. Mm-hmm. It's so.
Humans are so resilient.
Make up your mind, body.
So resilient, but
can you
so
survive
fragile.
or not?
Anyways, Jess, continue with what you were saying.
I think all that happened was, you know, my nail was. We had to remove the nail.
Yeah.
Like the full thing.
Yeah.
See, that will get me.
Yeah, I had to do that once. I don't remember why. I think I had literally smacked my foot into the side of a wall and stubbed it so bad that the nail literally was half off and we just had to take it off. It was awful. It hurts so bad.
It sounds awful.
It hurts so bad.
Gross.
Anyways, nice little way to end the episode.
You are welcome.
Yes. So,
I feel like we should give like a trigger warning for this.
So what I'm going to say is sort of my final thing is, if you injure yourself, or like if it's bad enough to the point where, you know, you can't walk or you can't move something, just go to like Emma. Don't be like me and wait months before you even talk to your doctor. Just go to your doctor. Like, just
do not go and get medical help. Do not. That's boring. Stick it through. You're not a pussy. You're listening to the Burnout Kids podcast. You're not a fucking pussy.
See, that would have been me 2 years ago, but now I'm saying, please take care of yourself, please.
No,
we love you. Take care of yourself.
You can afford it.
Don't be a pussy. Don't fucking
afford it. Go to the doctor because not everyone has universal health care.
There's also that too. If you're in the U.S., I am so sorry.
If you're in the U.S., just stick it out. If you're in the U.S., just stick it out. You're not a pussy. You can do it.
If you're in the U.S.,
take some Advil.
If you're in the U.S., take Jess's advice. If you're not in the U.S., take my advice.
There you go.
But yeah, anyways, just take care of yourself. If you're hurt, don't overwork yourself. You're only gonna make it worse.
Take care of yourself.
Take it from me, the person that needs to cut their legs off. Just take care of yourself. Thank you for listening to the Burnout Kids podcast. If you're interested in following any of us, you can follow me, Emma, on Twitter and Instagram at stopit_Emma. Or you can follow me on TikTok at stopitemmalive. Or you can follow me on Twitch and YouTube at stopittemma. And if you're interested in following Jess, you can follow her on Twitter at tothemoon_Jess. Or you can follow her on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at tothemoonjessie. And if you're interested in following Spook, you can follow them on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Spookish with 2 Ks. And if you're interested in following the podcast, you can find us on Twitter and Tumblr at Burnout Kids Cast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Burnout Kids Podcast. For our audio listeners, we have a YouTube channel called the Burnout Kids Podcast. And for our YouTube watchers that want to listen on the go, we have a Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcasts. We release new episodes every other Saturday, so be sure to stop by for another episode with your local Burnout Kids. Bye!